agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda. What's up, rebels? My name is Leo, and I am one half of LeoAndWilly. We are engaged, we are queer. And today I am here to give you guys some answers to some questions that I've gotten throughout the past year while I've been on this journey of being on T. If you don't know, I've recently passed 1 year on testosterone. There is a lovely video that my fiance Willy made that is up on our channel. Go check it out. But to give you a refresher, yeah, hi. If you don't know me, I'm Leo. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm a trans guy. I've been on testosterone for over a year, and there's been a lot of changes that come on from that, obviously. Any transition is going to come with a lot of changes and a lot of adjustments. And I've gotten a lot of questions about that experience throughout my time. So I thought today I would pull some out of the archives and chat about some ones that I think are really interesting. Even though I may have answered them in the past, I think it might be fun to just put them here in a video as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda. So without further ado, let's get into it. Gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda, gay. So the first question that I'm going to talk about is, does testosterone really turn you into a furnace? I got this comment from one of you guys here on YouTube, and it says, one thing that kind of scares me about T is that I'm already pretty hairy and a furnace, and I sweat very easily and a lot. Anyone know if this could get even worse while on T? Now, I gave a little bit of a response to this person. I'm going to read out what I said to them directly, just to give a bit of context, and then I'll talk about it more. I said, hey friend, everybody's body will work differently, but for me personally, yeah, I got hotter for sure. Deodorant will be your bestie. And unfortunately, that is just the truth. Of course, testosterone is going to affect every person individually, and your experience might be different from someone else's. Some people may be like, well, I had a little bit of like hot flashes in the beginning, but actually now I'm pretty chill and my body temp's gone back to basically what it felt like before. Some people are like, oh yeah, no, I can't even think about wearing a long sleeve shirt anymore because it's just not gonna happen. So it varies from person to person. For me personally, I've definitely noticed that my body temperature has increased just as a blanket statement, like my resting body temp, you know, how cold I get or how warm I get. It definitely has changed since I started to. Will you be a furnace? Unfortunately, probably at some points. Especially during the first few months, there's going to be a lot of things that happen that mimic, that are similar symptoms to menopause. Because if you didn't know, going on HRT, going on testosterone, in trans guys, trans masculine people, it can basically trigger an early onset menopause, which sounds kind of scary and confusing. It's like, wait, what do you mean? But it's just because of the way that the hormones interact with what you've already got going on in there and how it changes things and the hormone changes that happen. My number one tip is frequent showers and lots of deodorant, and you'll be okay. The second question I get is one that I'm going to put a tiny little trigger warning for mental health topics, because this one is, does being on T make you depressed? Does it affect your mental health? Can it make your mental health worse? Can it make your mental health better? Can it cure your depression? Can it create depression? All these sorts of things. How does it interact with you mentally and not just physically? Once again, I want to disclaim that it's going to be different for every person. And also, you should always speak with a provider, a trusted professional when it comes to medical things, especially when it comes to how medical treatments may affect your body specifically. I'm not going to be able to tell you that, but I can give you the general idea. So I got a comment from someone on Reddit on a post that I had shared back when I was, what was this? 8 months on T. So this is like I said, a bit from the archives, but this person commented and asked a really interesting question. So let's talk about it. Little Sam 2023 said, firstly, congrats on your 8 months, and I will check on your videos. If you're here watching, hi, I hope you're okay. Secondly, I have a question that I hope is okay. I've been just over a week on T. The first week, I've been very happy and calm and so certain of my identity. That's really great, and I really love that view. I'm entering my second week, and all of a sudden, since yesterday and especially today, I've been feeling down and numb. Not quite sure why. I'm starting to question again and worrying about aging as a man. Is this normal? Will my mood pick back up again? And will the doubts leave me alone? Now, there are a few things that are brought up in this question that I think can be a shared experience with a lot of trans guys. Maybe not all of us, but some of us might resonate really well with this comment and with this person and their experience. So let's maybe break it down a little bit. So one of the things that they were worried about is aging as a man. When you are on testosterone, when you go through HRT and you change your body in those ways, it alters your chemistry. And altering your chemistry can create different things that might happen for you down the line. But I want to be clear that the heightened risk of these health issues are not at a abnormally heightened level. They're more at the level of a cisgender man, and the health risks that come from cis men, it's pretty much the same level. It's not like a super crazy heightened thing. It's just your body adjusting to being trans and being transmasc and being a guy, if that's how you identify. Congratulations, you're a man. So again, it's nothing to be freaked out about, paranoid about. It's just something to be aware of so that you can monitor your health and monitor your body with your physician to the best of your ability, and always make sure that you're healthy and happy. One more thing that I want to just pinpoint in this comment is that they did bring up starting to question again. Now, they didn't specifically say what they're questioning, but I would assume in this context that they're questioning their gender identity, or maybe questioning whether or not they really wanted to be on T or whether that was the right decision for them. I do get this, and I think that unfortunately this is something that a lot of people, at least that I've read and heard about, there are a fair amount of us who have had that experience. I went through a period in the very beginning where I started to freak out as well, and I started to be like, oh gosh, did I make the right decision? And the truth is that a lot of that came from a lot of outside perspectives and a lot of honestly unhealthy and toxic views that were coming out of the conservative side of trans community, and some of the things that are said by trans medicalists, true scum, those sorts of crowds. If you know, you know. I was learning a lot about that perspective, and although it wasn't something that I was agreeing with, it was still impacting my ability to view myself in the way that I do now. It was definitely kind of impacting or influencing the way that I felt and the way that I viewed myself in my early stages of my transition. And I had to just kind of work through that and separate the things that I was hearing from the things that I feel and the things that I believe, and, just sort of sorting out, these are things that are said, but that doesn't make them true, which we all can be guilty of that, as much as we like to admit that we like to say, oh, these things don't affect me, and obviously, they're BS, so, I don't believe in that, and so, haha, you don't win, I win. Sometimes in ourselves, subconsciously or consciously, those things can affect us. And it's always good to remind yourself, you know yourself better than any other person in this entire planet. There are billions of people here, and you are the one person who knows yourself the best. So don't let anyone else's ideas or opinions or views about your identity trump your own identity. All right, the last question that I'm going to talk about today is a bit of an in-depth one, and it's also medical-based. This one is, what types of top surgery are there? What are my options? What can I do? I got a comment again on Reddit from a post that I made. I sometimes will share updates about my transition or share videos that I've made here and just spread them out so that more people can see them and hopefully get some support from them. So on one of my posts on Reddit, someone commented, "Hi, I would really like to know about the best top surgeons, especially for FTM, as well as the different types of surgeries." Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to give any specific recommendations of surgeons. I haven't gotten top surgery yet myself, so I don't have a provider that I personally have worked with that I could recommend. And I also haven't gotten an extensive knowledge about surgeons in different areas, different countries. I'm not sure where this person in particular is based, so I'm just not able to give that information. However, I can tell you the breakdown of some of the most popular types of top surgery that you can get. Now, I'm going to be referencing some information on my phone just because I know that there's a lot of medical terms and specific information. This is a medical procedure, so I want to make sure I give you guys the most accurate information. So, for chest reconstruction, where, it's some form of a mastectomy is most likely the case, where you remove breast tissue and in turn create a less protruding and more masculine chest. There are a few options of this. The first one is double incision mastectomy with a nipple graft. This is the most common procedure that people know about. It's the one that you will likely envision when you think about top surgery results. It will have the 2 incisions down below the breast tissue, where it kind of sculpts underneath the pecs, and then the breast tissue is removed from below. This is a procedure that is available to a range of body types, from smaller chest to larger chest. This is a pretty versatile one, which is really great because some of the options on this list are only meant for certain types of bodies, and they're more successful with either larger or smaller chests. But this one is pretty universal. Now, with the double incision, you can also opt in or out of getting a nipple graft. Some people choose to get nipple grafts. It means that they will remove and readjust your nipples to be at the more like natural placement of a male chest once they remove breast tissue, and they might reduce the size of your nipples to appear more masculine. You can also choose to not have this. Some people choose to not get nipple grafts and they will just get the double incision. Perhaps they will get tattoos over the area. Whether they get hyper-realistic tattoos of nipples tattooed onto their chest, which would then give them the aesthetic look of them, but then not have any of the actual feelings and sensations of them. Or some people get a different type of artistic chest piece. Some people choose to leave it bare. You can speak to your surgeon and make sure that you get the best care for you and you get the results that you'd like. The next type is periareolar, also known as keyhole surgery, I think is the more common term. That's what I mostly know it as. It's best for people with smaller to medium chests, because it's a much less invasive incision. So the method of removal of breast tissue is much smaller, so it just works a little better for less tissue to be there to remove. And it also will be better for you if you have a smaller chest, because this one doesn't necessarily remove too much skin as well. So there's a lot less moving around of like the extra skin that forms from your removing the breast tissue. There might be a little bit more space in there if you have a larger chest, so this might not be the best. But if this is for you, this is how it works. So a small incision is made along the bottom half of the areola. So just a small incision, like sort of a half moon. The breast tissue is removed through this incision, and then the nipple may be slightly resized or repositioned before closing just to adjust for aesthetic purposes. The pros of this one in particular, there can be more nipple sensation that is retained after surgery than with the double mastectomy that most people get. There is less scarring significantly. There isn't the double incision underneath, so it's only around the nipple area that you will get the scars, and they are more likely to fade as well because they are a smaller incision and in a different area. They're just more likely to fade over time than the double incisions. The next one is T-anchor or inverted T mastectomies. Now, this one is best for medium to large chests. There is a difference between double incision and inverted T. They are very similar, and many people get them confused or think that they're the same thing, but I'm going to tell you the difference now. So, with inverted T, the NAC, which is the, it's like basically all the components of your nipple and the sensation and just that sort of unit, it's reduced in size and repositioned via an extra vertical incision that runs from the bottom of the areola to the horizontal incision along the pectoral muscle. So, where we were talking about the double incision underneath and the circular incision around the nipples, there's also just a line that goes and connects the two. So it's kind of like, think of like a lollipop, and then it goes down, and then there's like a line underneath, similar to that. So in this type of incision, the nipple stalk is left intact, and as a result, you may experience more sensation. This might be something if you're looking to retain sensation, you really want to make sure that you can still feel sensation in your nipples. This might be something that you go for rather than the more classic double mastectomy with the double incision. The only thing I will say with this is that because they do not remove the nipples or do anything to them and they leave them intact, they're not going to be moved into a different position. So you will get them in your more natural position of where they were to begin with. They might not be as aesthetically placed, if you know what I mean. Now, there are a couple of differences in the results. Obviously, there is going to be another scar there, so some people, if you're looking for minimal scarring, this may not be the one for you. It's just an extra incision that is going to leave another scar. The other thing that I did notice in my research of this method in particular was that people were saying that there was more significant swelling in this style of top surgery. It's something that just happens during the healing process. You will likely experience more swelling than typical in other types of mastectomies, and this will be something that might go on for a couple of weeks during your healing process. There are other procedures that can be done to further your euphoria in your body. There are masculinizing procedures that go outside of just the chest. If, for instance, you don't like your hips, if there's some dysphoria or discomfort based around the way that your hips are shaped, there can be procedures done that might change the shape of them to make them appear a little more flat, give you a little bit more of a boxy frame, and that might reduce some dysphoria for you. So there's a lot of procedures out there. This is just a basic rundown of some of the top surgery options that you might look into, and one of them might be right for you. But it's always best, like I said, to speak to a licensed physician, speak to your doctors, speak to your surgeons, and have them advise you as to what is going to be best for your body. All right, you guys, so that is all the questions that I have for you guys today. If you liked this, if you have more questions, please do leave a comment down below and let me know. I love answering your guys' questions. I like being able to share information and help you guys out. If you have questions, please feel free to ask and I will answer to the best of my ability. And if I don't know the answer, we will research together. If you haven't yet, please go check out our Patreon. We recently created a Patreon and we are looking to create a lot more behind the scenes content, lots of fun stuff. We might have some members exclusive content on there already for you to go check out. I don't know, you might have to go see for yourself. Oh, that's for you to find out. We also have Instagram, which I will link down below. We have a joint one, and we also have our personals. We're also on TikTok, so go follow us there. We got everything, baby. So just go follow down the links and leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this video. If you have any more questions about anything that I've talked about in this video, if this has brought up any questions that I didn't talk about, please feel free to share them and I can continue to make more of these. So thank you guys so much for being here. Drink water, eat carrots, and I will see you in another one very shortly. Goodbye. Wah!